Today we are going to multiply polynomials. So the first thing I want to show you is if we have a monomial outside of parentheses and you already know that you're going to distribute it. We're basically multiplying a 5, which is a monomial, by this trinomial. Okay, and usually you guys are pretty good at this. Have to remember to distribute here. So 5 times 3 is 15, x squared. 5 times 2 is 10, x. 5 times 5 is 25. And you can't keep going, you can't combine them anymore because they have to be like in order to add them. So in multiplying, it doesn't matter, you don't have to have like terms. You can multiply any terms together. Okay, now this is where most kids go wrong, is where if you have a negative in front. All right, a lot of times they forget that. So once again, we're gonna distribute here. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. X times x squared is x cubed. And then let's move on to the next one. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. X times x is x squared. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. And then x over here. Okay? Now, this next part, there's a few different ways that you can do this. I'm just going to show you what's called the FOIL method. Sometimes people will say distribution, and sometimes you can also make a chart and multiply it that way. I don't mind which way you use, but I'm just going to show you one because I feel like as if this is what gets used most often. Okay, so in these examples, I have a binomial being multiplied by a binomial. All right, and so what we have to do, it's almost like we have to distribute the 5x to everything in here and distribute the 2 to everything in here. Now, the reason that's called FOIL is because the method you can use, this stands for something. This F stands for first. So if we look at the first term in each parentheses, we're going to multiply those first. So when I multiply that, 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. All right, then the next letter is O. That stands for outer. And this is outer. That's in the outer, and this is an outer. So we're now going to multiply there. All right, 5 times negative 5 is negative 25, and then we have this x. All right, the next letter, I, stands for inner. So these are both inner. 2 times 3 is 6, and then x. And then L stands for last. These are the last. These are the back of each set of parentheses. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So once again, you can either look at it like as if you're doing FOIL and you're doing first, outer, inner, last, or you can just say to yourself, you know what, it's like I'm taking this 5x and I'm distributing it to the 3x, and then I'm taking the 5x and I'm distributing it to the negative 5. I'm taking the 2 and I'm distributing it to the 3x. I'm taking the 2 and I'm distributing it to the negative 5. It doesn't really matter, we're going to get the same answer anyway. So now when we look here, we're not finished because we have to see, can we combine like terms? Well, this is the only thing with x squared. So I'm going to write that all by itself. Now, if I notice here, and usually it will happen like this where it's in the middle, but not all the time. Depends on how, if you just do that in a different order. Negative 25x plus 6x is going to get us negative 19x. And then this negative 5 is on, negative 10, sorry, is on the end. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Kind of just, mine ends up being, I think of it more like distribution, but it ends up being first, outer, inner, last. So I just kind of go x times x is x squared. X times 4 plus 4x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Combine those. X squared plus x minus 12. Okay. So you'll start to definitely get in a little rhythm here. X times X. You guys go ahead and do that. Freeze the camera, and then I'm going to just run through it real quick, but see if you can do that without me. Okay, that's what you should have got for an answer. Okay, same thing. I'm sure you can do this one without me. Okay. All right, now I wanted to show you one of these down here, which is a binomial being multiplied by a trinomial. Not much different if you kind of think about it like distribution. If you sit there and you go first, outer, inner, last, and are very specific, it might start getting a little confusing. But if you just think, we're taking this x and we're distributing it to here. So that's x cubed. Now it's got to go to the next guy, plus 2x squared. Now it's got to go to the next guy, minus 5x. Okay, I am done with that, and now I have to deal with the 3. 3 has to go to the x squared, until I just got these markers. 3 has to go to the 2x, and 3 has to go to the negative 5. All right, now I'm going to see what I can combine. So the only thing with 3x is this guy right here, so I'm going to write that down. I mean, the x cubed. Now I have x squared. That gets me 5x squared. Now I have, gets me 1x, and that's all by itself, negative 15. Okay, so we're just basically distributing it through and then combining like terms. All right, let's do this last one. X times x. All right. Try to write small. X to the 4th. X cubed minus 8x squared. And now I have to distribute this 1. That's pretty easy. All right, and now I'm going to see what I can combine. Well, notice the only thing with the exponent of 4 is right there. The only thing with an exponent of 3 is right there. And then we have negative 8x squared plus x squared, which gets me negative 7x squared. Now I'm all the way down to here. This x is by itself minus 8. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of it. Not too much trickier than that. Okay, just be careful because you can make an easy mistake with your exponents. Have a good day.